1 million agent executions last month across our entire customer base, 0 errors, 0 hallucinations, 0 people in the loop having to clean up after the AI. In production, by the way, in banking, in insurance, in logistics, in construction, in manufacturing, and on state level governmental critical infrastructure. And all this happens independent of the model underneath, because FlowX.AI is the enterprise cognitive layer. Today, FlowX.AI is the platform where customers build, deploy, run, and monitor AI agents for mission-critical work in the enterprise. The kind of work that has to be always correct. The kind of work that gets audited. The kind of work that really runs the institution. Today, FlowX.AI 6 is the business layer that runs on top of it. The layer that makes it easy to turn one agent into 10, 10 into 100, and 100 into that cognitive substrate of the institution itself. Last year was about the technology foundations, and this year is about the scalable business platform. You're not going to hear from me alone. Today, you're going to hear from the people who built it and from the customers who have been building, deploying, and running FlowX.AI agents in production every single day. The next 40 minutes belongs to them. There's 5 things in this release. Each of them on its own would be the headline of a normal launch. We are shipping them all inside FlowX.AI 6 this year. First, agent suites for banking, insurance, logistics, and manufacturing. Second, we have the governance hub. Third, we have the business ROI hub. Fourth, you're going to see the next generation of our zero hallucination technology, and we will take you through each of these. In a moment, our CTO is going to come on stage and walk you through the deterministic envelope itself, which is what turns stochastic models into auditable outputs. But most of all, today you will hear from our customers, because at FlowX.AI, the customer is the headline, not the founder on the stage.
You answered something important just now. A deterministic envelope. It sounds technical. It isn't really. A stochastic model gives you a different answer to the same question every time you ask it. That's fine for a chatbot. It's a huge liability for a bank. The envelope is the layer we build that sits between the model and the institution. It takes statistic reasoning and turns it into outputs that are structured, auditable, and repeatable. Same input, same output, every time, with a full reasoning trail behind it. That's the foundation everything else runs on. And on top of that foundation, we build FlowX.AI 6. Every institution we work with is at a different point in this journey. Some are deploying their first agent. Some are running hundreds. Some are asking what it looks like when AI runs the entire institution. FlowX.AI 6 was built for all of them. Let me show you what that looks like. The first question every organization asks when they start building AI agent is, where do we begin? Our team has spent decades inside banking, insurance, logistics, and manufacturing. We know the workflows. We know the regulations. We know the edge cases. So we pre-build them. Over 220 specialized agents, ready to deploy, ready to run, built for our industry from day one.
When customers come to us and say we want to deploy AI agents, without them saying much else, we already know exactly what are the pain points and where the AI agent will make the difference for their business. And we can put that in production at scale within weeks. So let's take a look at the agents for each industry.
In banking, our customers are deploying agents across the entire business: loan processing, fraud detection, KYC and AML compliance, regulatory compliance, credit underwriting, monitoring customer churn, and much more. But now, let's take a detailed look into one of the use cases, for example, mortgages. Mortgages are the largest financial decision most people will ever make, and the process behind them still runs on spreadsheets, scanned PDFs, and a loan officer who knows where everything actually lives. Weeks of back and forth, documents in 5 different formats, eligibility checks that depend on someone manually retyping numbers from a payslip. By the time the file is complete, the applicant has already compared 3 competitors. A mortgage application doesn't arrive clean, it arrives as a pile: payslips, tax statements, bank statements, IDs, purchase contracts, property valuation, often bundled into a massive PDF, often scanned, often in mixed languages. Someone has to read all of it, extract the right numbers, validate them against policy, check for fraud, and produce a decision-ready file. That someone is now a stack of agents. A classification agent that identifies what each document actually is, a splitting agent that breaks multiple document PDFs into clean files, an extraction agent that pulls structured data, income figures, employer details, property value, a policy checks agent that runs against credit scoring rules in real time, a fraud checks agent that cross-references data across documents, a legal check agent that validates the property side, 6 agents, 1 pipeline, 1 decision-ready file. Not a folder of attachments, but a structured application the underwriter can actually decide on. What used to be a 2-week intake process becomes a conversation that finishes in the same session. Let's take a look at how that pipeline actually works. A single mortgage file, dozens of documents inside, hundreds of fields to verify. Our specialized banking AI agents split it, classify every document, and extract 50+ fields. They run the entire back-office checklist automatically, cross-referencing every document, surfacing only what doesn't match. Fraud scoring, legal analysis, a task generated for every issue, so the officer never flips between PDFs again. From raw documents to high-accuracy decision in minutes, not days.
Across the entire insurance value chain, we're deploying a growing ecosystem of specialized agents. Claims intake and triage, regulatory compliance monitoring, risk profile and disclosure analyzer, claims settlement and payout, AI investment advisor, fraud detection and monitoring, and much more. Each one purpose-built to handle the complexity, the regulation, and the scale that insurers demand. And here, every hour of delay costs money. Every manual review is a risk. Every missed signal is a claim you didn't see coming. Our customers are deploying agents that change that. Claims processing agents, which understand policy coverage, validate loss evidence, detect fraud signals, and produce settlement proposals, reducing a 15-hour manual process to a supervised workflow before an assessor finishes their morning coffee. They are also leveraging underwriting assessment agents, which analyze applicant risk profiles, cross-reference historical data, and flag exceptions, so underwriters focus only on decisions, not on data gathering, or policy onboarding agents that take a new application from intake to active policy, extracting, validating, and setting up without a single manual re-entry. And renewal and upsell agents, which identify at-risk policies, surface cross-sell opportunities, and generate personalized renewal offers before a customer even thinks about leaving. This is not automation. This is intelligence, embedded in every step of the policy lifecycle. And we're going to show you exactly what that looks like. Claims processing, where the impact is most immediate. Meet the Claims Agentic solution. AI agents that split the bundle, straighten every page, classify each document, and extract the key fields, even from blurry, handwritten scans, each with a confidence score. Then they run the full eligibility checklist, verifying the policy was active, confirming the medical timeline holds up. In seconds, not hours. The whole claim journey reconstructed, a summary, written, a settlement, calculated, ready for the officer to approve. From a pile of paperwork to a settlement in seconds, this is the Claims Agentic solution.
For our logistics customers, we've built an ever-expanding suite of specialized AI agents, all designed to work together securely and at scale across the entire operation. Inbox triage and order intake, load visibility, quoting, load efficiency, and route optimization, returns and refunds automation, and more. There's an industry that touches everything you do. It moves everything you own, everything you eat, everything you wear, and yet it still runs on phone calls, spreadsheets, disjointed legacy systems, and an inbox that nobody can keep up with. And that industry is logistics. The people serving it, who are dedicated to keeping the global economy and your lives running, are so impacted by this constant, unstructured flow of information that I often hear it's like drinking from a fire hose. For them, a quote sent 5 minutes late means lost business. A missed update is a customer call they have to take. A delay they didn't see coming cascades into margin they can never recover. The brokers and operators we work with are tired of scrambling, so they're deploying our agents. They're deploying quoting agents that can read a request the moment it lands, pull historical rates, check their TMS, factor in fuel, capacity, driver availability, and market conditions, and put a defensible quote back in front of the shipper before the competition has even opened the email. What used to consume hours becomes a supervised workflow. They're also leveraging load visibility agents. These agents can pull status from carrier portals, driver apps, their TMS, and email threads, and push the right update to the right party at the right time. Where's my load requests are automatically dealt with, customer experience is much improved, and their team's time is no longer occupied by clicking through 5 tools to answer one simple question. Another hot topic for our clients has been plan health and schedule integrity. This agent stack can watch what's planned against what's actually happening on the road, predicting delays, flagging the loads at risk, recommending the action a planner would have taken 3 hours later. From the quote that wins the business, to the visibility that keeps it, to the planning that protects the margin, this is what it looks like when intelligence runs the load lifecycle, not just supports it. This is the invoice reconciliation solution. Every invoice here was pulled automatically from monitored inboxes and audited line by line. The agent clears the clean ones straight to TMS, green, and only escalates the genuinely ambiguous ones. A new invoice hits the inbox, the agent intercepts it, and goes to work in real time. Here's the reviewer's read: what the carrier invoiced, what the rate con expected, what we bill the customer, the margin and any gap, instantly. And these are real catches. Every finding backed by the actual documents. That's an audit a settlement tool simply doesn't do.
When we talk to customers about agent suits, the first question is always the same. How fast can we actually go? Not in theory, not in a controlled environment, in their systems, with their data, with their legacy infrastructure. The honest answer used to be months. Why? Because the technology, the integrations weren't ready. Because connecting to a core banking system built decades ago is never an easy job. That's what we built agent stacks around. Not just the agents themselves, but the infrastructure that lets them plug into everything a bank already has. Governance built in from day one, regulatory compliance, not a roadmap, already there, integrations that respect the system they connect to. And the speed that follows from that foundation, let me show you what that looks like from a customer's perspective.
Integrations. A regulated bank with hundreds or even thousands of applications is a nightmare to manage, to administer. It runs on many core platforms: core banking, know your customer, credit bureau implementations, integrations, documents, payments, ledgers, and other treasury systems and satellite system. If your platform cannot reach all of them at the same time, everything becomes problematic, everything becomes a toy. FlowX could reach all of them, and reaching them was only half of the job. The other half is not to break the connections between the systems, and the data reconciliation would become a nightmare. Our core banking were built for decades before AI was even talked about. Such system cannot take the load on AI agents, that all the speed and complexity that AI agents throw at these platforms. So FlowX knew how important are all these integrations and how sensitive is to connect all the systems and maintain the integrity of the data in between the system. FlowX knew this, most of the system do not.
Battle-tested, proven, encapsulating decades of experience, 220 agents, pre-built, pre-tested, carrying a decade of institutional knowledge from the industries we live in.
FlowX.AI has managed to do something that I always wanted to see, but I didn't believe was possible. Advising the board risk committees of major banks, I watched every platform that matters cross my desk. Banks have been fighting this problem for decades. FlowX.AI is the first thing that I've seen that really solves it. Every other platform asks the institution to lower its standards to adopt AI. FlowX.AI raises AI to the institution's standards. That is the difference. After 35 years in this industry, my name and reputation are the most valuable things that I have to invest, and I've chosen to invest it here.
AI has split in two. There is a kind of AI that lives on your phone and on your laptop, AI that drafts your emails, that writes your code, that summarizes your meetings, and AI that makes you personally and individually 10 times more productive. And it is genuinely magical. I use it, you use it, our engineers use it, and that is individual AI. Then there's another kind of AI. AI that runs the institution itself, AI that approves loans, AI that underwrites policies, AI that routes shipments, AI that approves parts for production, AI that decides under the eye of the regulators with audit trails that held up in court whether something is going to happen or not. That is institutional AI. And it is a completely different problem. It's an AI that cares not just how smart it is, but if the answer is precisely correct and if the same answer comes out of the same input every single time. The AI tools that most people have experienced, the AI on the phone and the laptop, were never built to do this. They are stochastic by design. They give you a different answer to the same question if you ask twice, which is fine when you're drafting paragraphs. But it is terrible when you're clearing a transaction. That is the gap. And the entire industry has been pretending that it doesn't exist or that it'll fix itself or that the next model will close it. And it will not.
Well, if you ask any vendor to reproduce one decision end to end, ask them to show you the same decision from the same inputs that give you the same results every single time. If they can do that, you have a project. If they can't, you have a pilot that will never leave the lab. I know one that can. Banks haven't been slow to adopt AI, but the technology has been too difficult to validate. And you can't approve what you can't reproduce, evidence, and explain, which is critical in a highly regulated industry like banking. FlowX.AI is the first platform that I've seen that was built to pass that test.
When you have one AI agent, governance is a checklist. When you have 10, is a process. When you have hundreds running across departments, geographies, regulators, it's infrastructure. Most organizations get to agent number 3 and realize they have no idea what their agents are doing, what rules they are following, or how they would prove it to a regulator. There's not a technology problem. That's an institutional problem. And we build a solution into the platform itself.
One of our customers is one of the largest insurance networks across USA and Europe. Runs AI agents across 6 regulatory frameworks in multiple markets, making decisions every day that affect real customers and real claims. Before FlowX, every audit cycle started the same way. Weeks of work just to find decisions. Not analyze them, not improve them, just find them. Digging through email threads and spreadsheets that each told a different part of the story. 40 days. Every time. Just to answer one question. Did we follow the rules? With the Governance Hub, every decision is written down as it happened. What the AI did, why it did it, the rule it was checked against, who approved it. There's a question every regulated organization eventually has to answer. Not to their customers, not to their board, to their regulator. Show me every decision your AI made, the reasoning behind it, the rule it was checked against, who approved it, all of it. Most organizations can't answer that question quickly. Not because their AI was wrong, because the evidence was never designed to be found. So when we built the Governance Hub, we started from a different premise entirely. What if compliance wasn't something you proved after the fact? What if every decision was written down as it happened? The reasoning, the rule, the approval, automatically in real time by the platform itself? That's not a reporting feature, that's a different architecture. And it changes not just how fast you can answer a regulator, it changes how your entire compliance team operates, from reactive to proactive, from looking backwards to looking forwards. This is the FlowX.AI Observatory. Every project, every agent, every run. Let's look at agent executions. Every decision that agent has made. I'll pick the first one. Claims approval agent. Here's the execution tree. Every step the agent took, every tool it called. Here's the node detail, the input, the output, the exact token counts and cost. Now, the trace for that same run. Here's the full call sequence. Every prompt, every response logged and visible. So when the auditor asks, can you prove this AI operated within approved parameters? The answer isn't a 40-slide deck. This is the policy engine. Here are the governance policies this agent runs under. Claims approval limit, hallucination rate SLO, human in the loop on rejections. We can evaluate the run against the policy. Now, regulatory compliance, 6 frameworks. EU Artificial Intelligence Act. Each framework is broken down into its requirements. Let's look at human oversight. It's linked directly to EU AI Act Article 14. The Requirements tab shows our compliance status for each article, because compliance isn't a checkbox you tick before go live. It's something you need to prove on any given Tuesday to anyone who asks. And gap analysis runs continuously, not at audit time, every day. The evidence to prove compliance is collected automatically, each record linked to its source. The system also monitors for drift. Here, we're tracking the hallucination rate over the last 30 days. When a metric crosses a threshold, it triggers an alert. The rule: if the hallucination rate is greater than 0.1, create a critical alert. And every step you just saw, the decision, the trace, the policy check, is in the audit trail. The user, the resource, the IP address, the full details. Permanent, searchable, linked to the framework it satisfies. The next time a regulator walks in, they don't ask you to produce the file. They ask you to open the platform. This is how 40 days become 2 minutes. Not by cutting corners, by making compliance part of the architecture. Not a thing you prove after the fact. Reactive becomes proactive. Looking backwards becomes looking forwards. The evidence is already there.
Every agent we run, every decision it makes, every input it consumes, we have to be able to show to our regulators how we made the decisions, how we trained the model, on which data. FlowX has that already built in. These regulators do not joke around. Especially in Europe, we have so many scrutiny, so many boundaries set. FlowX understood that on the day one. We did not have to tell them anything. We didn't have to explain how important it is to comply with these regulators and with these regulations.
The institution that solves AI governance first will not just be safer, they will be faster than everyone else for years, approving in weeks what their competitors are still debating in committees. For 35 years, I've told boards, be careful with technology like this, but today I'm telling them, don't be late.
We are excited about technology, but we are even more excited about the results. Every AI project starts with a business case, faster processing, lower cost, better outcomes. And 6 months in, most organizations still can't answer the one question their CFO is asking. What is this actually worth? They feel the impact, they can prove it. We build a hub that answers that question in real time for every agent across the entire platform.
There's a moment that happens on almost every engagement. Things are running, the agents are live, the team knows it's working. You can feel it in the room. And then the CFO walks in. And they ask the question nobody has a clean answer to. What is this actually worth? Not in theory, not in the business case we wrote 6 months ago. Right now, this quarter, in dollars. And that's where most AI projects lose momentum. Not because they stopped working, because they couldn't prove they were working. I've been in that room too many times. So we built something to change that conversation entirely. The ROI Hub gives you a live view of every agent, every workflow, every process, what it's saving, what it's eliminating, what it's delivering. Today, this week, this quarter. This is the ROI Hub. One screen, net return from your AI agents. $1.7 million this period, computed from what actually ran, against your own baselines. It pays for itself in under a month. And here's the part nobody else shows you. How much of that number is proven? Today, 9% by live experiments. Every other dollar is labeled for exactly what it is. Over 20,000 hours returned to your team this period. $30 per claim for the agent, 213 on the manual path, 4,600 claims handled end-to-end. It also tells you what to do next. And the verdicts follow evidence. 4 agents. Only one earns scale, the one with an experimentally verified contribution. The $500,000 agent right below it stays at watch, because modeled value isn't proof yet, and the platform's own costs are on the books, not hidden. So, does this hold in a board meeting? In an audit? Here's why it holds. Every dollar is graded, verified, modeled, or assumed, and deduplicated so nothing counts twice. Outcomes are contracts, fed by your systems of record. A signed webhook from the claims core, not our opinion. And verified means a randomized experiment held part of the live work back to the human path. 66% lift, credited at the conservative bound, never the headline. Different industry, different evidence. This mortgage operation proved more than half of its return with a before and after analysis. No randomization was possible, and the dashboard says so, in plain text. Even the fine print is honest, and when the board asks, the executive summary exports straight into the board pack. Assumed, modeled, verified. Your AI program climbs that ladder in production, automatically, and you always know how much of your ROI you can prove.
It is for the first time that we are not just facing a technology that helps us deliver, but it is a technology that also learns and also predicts a lot. One concrete example is the origination in a full bundle of products for a customer. This used to take about 30 minutes. Today it takes around 5 to 7 minutes. And this translates into something very simple, but very important in branches. Less time spent navigating within the systems, fewer systems, of course, and more time spent with the customer. A very good job satisfaction for our employees in the branches who don't need to navigate with so many other touch points at this point in time. And importantly, we measure that impact consistently, and that is very important for us, from customer satisfaction to employee experience, because in the end, our colleagues, our employees in the branches are our very valued internal customers. And this goes into the tangible way, into the business value and ROI delivered by each feature when launched to production. When our teams rebuild mutual fund onboarding, for example, and Better Pay, we went from around 150 up to 800 new investment customers a day. And that was an important performance for our subsidiary as well. And we became the leading mutual fund bank in under 2 years. Be bold in your vision, but obsessive about execution. Because innovation, for me, doesn't happen just when you launch something, but it happens when you build and you educate the capability to improve it every single day.
In enterprise AI, there is one question that matters more than any other. Will it hallucinate? When it's approving a loan? When it's making a compliance decision? When a regulator is watching? With FlowX.AI 6, the answer is no. Not because we got lucky, because we engineered it. Agents, validating each other, calibrated confidence on every output, structured guarantees that holds in production, under real load, in real regulatory environments. Same input, same output, every time.
You know, when people talk about hallucinations in AI, they usually think about a chatbot saying something incorrect or has no sense. And that's fine, right? It's annoying, you either correct it with a new prompt or you move on. But there is a category of application where that is genuinely not acceptable, where the AI output is not a suggestion the user will casually review. It's a recommendation that goes directly in front of a client, a real person making a financial decision, and it has a license advisory name on it and a regulatory eye on it. That's the situation we are in. Let me show you. This is the evaluation engine, 10,000 test cases. The hard ones, the edge cases, the ones that broke production 6 months ago. Now, let's run our agent against them. Here's the baseline from last week. Every case scored on 9 dimensions: correctness, hallucination, groundedness, tool use, refusal, toxicity, conciseness, helpfulness, RAG coverage. Hallucination, 0.08%. Now here's this week's run. Same agent, same data set. We induced an error in production. We weakened the extraction prompt. Hallucination, 7.3%. We didn't see it. The customers didn't see it. But the platform saw it and moved the affected runs to a human reviewer before any decision reached the customer. And the eval run isn't the whole story. This is what runs every day. The Insights dashboard, overall quality, safety compliance, and trends over time for quality, safety, performance, and cost. Recent alerts, 2 of them. Hallucination drift, 8 days old. Cost per claim, 5 days back. Every production run is scored against 13 quality metrics. And here is the history. Every execution, every score. The benchmark and production are not 2 different worlds. They are the same numbers. This is the drift monitor. It detects and tracks every metric change. Here, it's watching the hallucination rate, from no drift to minor, moderate, high, all the way to critical. The platform is watching. This is what zero hallucination means. It's not the agent didn't hallucinate. It's the platform proved it didn't on 10,000 cases before it shipped, caught the moment it might, and put a human in the loop in front of the customer before they ever noticed. We built the first AI investment recommendation agent in a regulatory financial advisory workflow for the biggest insurer in this region. It doesn't just generate a recommendation, it generates the reasoning behind the recommendation, the rule justification, the risk disclaimer, the suitability logic, everything that makes that recommendation defensible. And the customer didn't just ask us to build it, they asked us to prove that the same client with the same profile gets the same recommendation every single time. Not approximately the same, not usually the same. Because in a regulatory financial advisory process, you don't get to be mostly right. Mostly right in that context is not a feature, it's a liability.
Triglav became actually the first insurer in this region to redesign a core advisory process with AI, not actually automate the old one. So before FlowX, our advisors or bank advisors on the bank had to do a lot of manual work. A lot of it was still on the paper. There was conversation with the client first, and then was typing in the system or writing in the paper. All the checkings was actually after the conversation. It was really long, time-consuming, and customer unfriendly. So it makes the process much faster. Speed is here big plus, and it also helps the quality of the discussion. Before all the compliance, all the, thinking or checking was done, not during the conversation. AI helps us here extremely. Also, the AI built in the process helps here really extremely. So all the checkings, all about the rules, about the compliance are then done simultaneously during the conversation, not afterwards. This is what I extremely like, the understanding of the business, the understanding of the needs that insurance company has. So we didn't have to explain everything. We didn't have to explain that we are highly regulated industry, that there is responsibility, suitability, that there is very huge regulation and agency who is controlling us. You came here with understanding of all of this. So we could start immediately with the issue we had, not with all the explanation and teaching about the industry.
One last thing. You've seen what FlowX.AI can do today, but here is the question we couldn't stop asking ourselves. What happens tomorrow? What happens in 6 months when the data change, when the business evolves, when the world moves on? Most AI stays where you left it. What if yours didn't? What if agents got better every single day on their own? Not because someone rewrote the prompt, not because the team ran a project, because the agent observed its own performance, found what wasn't working, generated better version of itself, tested them, and promote the winner. Automatically, we call it recursive self-improvement, and no one else has it.
For the last decade, every conversation about enterprise AI was ended in the same way. It's powerful, but it's brittle. A new model comes out, you retune. A new edge case appears, you retune. The data drifts, you return. There is a team somewhere sitting in a room fixing yesterday's agent for next week's reality. We thought, what if the platform did that itself? What if the same observability data that proves the agent is working could also be the signal that improves it? That's what we built. We call it recursive self-improvement. The agent runs, the platform watches. When the quality slips, the platform generates candidate fixes, new prompts, new node ordering, new model choices, and tests them against the same evaluation suite the regulator sees. If a candidate wins, statistically, with confidence within budget, it's promoted canary first, full rollout after. No retuning, no off-hours work, no team in a room. The agent gets better while you sleep. Every agent you deploy starts a compounding curve. The longer it runs, the smarter it gets. Not because someone tuned it, because it tuned itself. Most organizations budget for AI maintenance as a permanent cost. This one shrinks it automatically. We didn't build this because someone asked for it. We built it because we kept seeing the same thing happen. Great deployments, great results, and then 6 months later, the team is back in the room tuning prompts. We thought that was the wrong ending of a good story. The hardest part wasn't building the improvement loop. It was making sure it never promotes a change that makes things worse. Because in a bank, a bad improvement is worse than no improvement. That's where we spend most of our time. Statistical rigor, safe rollouts, automatic rollback. So when it improves, you can trust it. Let's look at how our agents improve themselves. This is the recursive self-improvement dashboard. 6 optimization cycles, 11 promotions, an average improvement of 9.7%. 3 weeks ago, hallucination rates started drifting from 8% to 12% to 18%. The platform caught it at 18%, still under slow but trending bad. Here's what happened next. Automatically. Step 1. The observation engine pulled the trace. Identify the node, claims amount extraction. Identify the root cause, prompt like structured output format. Step 2. The mutation engine generated 5 candidates. Add a JSON schema, add chain of thought, lower temperature, switch model, add a validation step. Step 3. The evaluation engine ran all 5 against the same 500 case benchmark. Each scored on the same 9 dimensions. Here's the result. The full evaluation matrix. All 5 candidates scored across correctness, hallucination, reprompts, latency, and cost. And the statistical validation, a 16% improvement. This isn't just one cycle, it's a timeline. 6 cycles in total. Different triggers, drift detected, policy violation, latency regression, a cost threshold. Each one with a documented outcome, some completed, some still in flight. We can see the enrolled workflows and the full version history. Each version created by a specific mutation, all tracked. The whole thing took 6 hours. Nobody from our team touched it. And this is the audit trail. Nobody wrote a prompt. Nobody ran an eval. One person looked at the evidence and approved the promotion. The platform did everything else. Every mutation, every score, every decision. Why we promoted V1 and not V4? The confidence interval, the fallback version. Ready to roll out back the moment something slips. This is not a model improving in a lab. This is an agent improving in production, under governance with evidence, with humans approving the gates that humans need to approve, and the platform doing the rest. Self-improving agents running the institution.
All these are running in production today, because our customers told us exactly what was missing and we built it. Agent suits, governance, ROI, zero hallucination, self-improving agents. Each one on its own would change how you think about AI in your institution. Together, they are the business layer that turns technology foundation into something institution can actually run on.
FlowX.AI was created for 2 things you cannot get anywhere else. First, it was created for building production AI for mission-critical applications in weeks. And second, it was created for running those workloads at institutional scale, across countries, across channels, across regulators, languages, all on a single platform. Speed and scale together. These were our commitments. This is what our customers are experiencing today. And we wanted to bring into the limelight the people who are building FlowX and the people who are running it and using it. We built FlowX.AI for enterprises running hundreds of thousands of agentic workloads. That is why FlowX.AI is not a vertical agent. It is not a model. It is not a workflow tool. It is the very cognitive infrastructure on which the next generation of the enterprises are going to be running. This is FlowX.AI 6. Thank you.